Hey, good morning, everybody. It is now 8:35. Thank you all for joining us exclusively on We Are Iowa Plus. We continue our coverage. We've been tracking power outages all morning long, so we do have MidAmerican Energy on the line with an update for us. We have Geoff Greenwood. Geoff, thank you so much for being with us today.
Sure, happy to be here today.
So tell me just kind of how the morning has been going for MidAmerican Energy and what you guys have been seeing.
Yeah, this was one of those storms where it was a little bit hard to plan for. Normally, when we have a winter weather event moving in, such as a large amount of snow or ice, particularly ice, that is of concern, especially if it builds up on power lines and we get a lot of wind. In this case, we got extreme winds. And in fact, the wind speed topped what we expected in the Des Moines area. We were expecting really the worst part the worst impacts to be far northwestern Iowa and north central Iowa, Mason City area, Fort Dodge, up into Sioux City area. But we really saw more of a Des Moines area impact this morning, probably after about 5:30 or so. We've seen a lot of isolated incidents where we've had wind-caused incidents, such as a tree going down. In fact, on the southwest side of Des Moines, we had a tree that came down on a line this morning that initially affected about 1,000 customers. And we've got that down to about a little over 200 right now. We've got a crew working on that, but that was a large tree that came down. And that's the type of impact that you would expect with a high wind event. We've also got some outages in the Patterson and Earlham areas. Those are not immediate Des Moines metro areas, but they're the broader area. And those are some larger outages, and we have crews working on those right now. So we're looking at right now just under 2,000 customers. I would say at our peak earlier this morning, it was probably closer to 3,000 customers, and that's system-wide, not just Des Moines area.
And Geoff, we've been watching as that number has been going down. We know you guys are certainly working hard out there. When you've got to deal with high winds like this, does this change the approach that the line persons make when they're out there having to do this job and get everything cleared up?
It can. On the plus side is that we didn't have additional snow coming in. And obviously, if there is a travel impact, that affects our line crews just as much as it affects you going from point A to point B. So it can be more challenging for us to get to those locations. In this type of situation, that really wasn't the case. So our line crews could get to where they were needed to go, and we staffed our line crews overnight for 24-hour coverage because of this event that we were expecting. So really, they're able to do their work. There are some situations where in extremely high winds, it may be dangerous for them to take a bucket truck up, very high up on an overhead line, but that would be an unusual circumstance. By and large, they just need to focus on what they're doing despite the winds and work safely as they always do and get that power restored.
And Geoff, before I let you go, can I real quickly ask you about if you know anything about Jefferson Elementary School? We know that DMPS did just post that they do have a power outage and classes are delayed 2 hours. Is that your guys' area, and do you know anything about that?
Well, if it's Des Moines, it's ours. Is that on the southwest side?
I will have to check. I believe so. Yes, it is.
Okay, if it's on the southwest side, then that's probably the outage I mentioned where we had a tree that came down. That initially affected more than 1,000 customers. We've now got that down to about 225 customers, and I don't have a breakdown of individual customers, but that would be probably consistent with that same outage, and we do have a crew working on that.
Okay, good information. Geoff, really appreciate your update there, and thanks for joining us, and thank you for all the hard work from you guys and MidAmerican Energy.